Welcome to Season 11 of the Lord of the Rings Online. For those of you just joining in, this is a 100% playthrough of the game, meaning that in each season I do all the quests and all the deeds of a certain map. So this one I'm going to be heading into Eregion. You can go to renaissancegaming.net/lotro.html, scroll down to the completionist checklist, and you can see everything that I've done in the game and what I'm still missing. I've been really looking forward to this season, guys. This is the final one before the Mines of Moria, and it is also the season in which I will finally be able to start using some legendary items. So pretty exciting stuff. I'm pretty behind as far as that's concerned. I should have been using legendaries a long time ago, but here I am still using some pleb items. But I think towards the end of book 14, I'll finally be able to start using them. So it may take me a while. It may be more towards the end of the season, but I'll get there. So you can see there's lots of branch points here, lots of places to go. I'm up here in the north. There's the first town here, Gwingris, and then I'm going to be making my way down, and then finally to the walls of Moria. So let's go. That's enough rambling. I'm going to try to hit up this first town here. It's a skirmish camp already. Now something else that's really exciting about this season, this is the final season that I'm recording on my old computer. For the Mines of Moria, my new computer should be here, and it's going to be epic. I upgraded my keyboard so it's more quiet, a new mouse so it's more responsive, and the computer I just completely decked out. I probably spent way too much money on it. Probably didn't need all that horsepower, but I got it anyways, and the new seasons moving forward are going to look even better.
Greetings to you.
So here we are in the first location, Bad Rochelle. Okay, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, probably not. Lots of elves here, so I'm going to struggle with the pronunciation this season, just giving you a fair warning. Alright, so let's start talking with some people. There's certainly some quest rings around here. I guess let me start up here, I guess. And let's see what this is. New deed for finding some of the towns here in Eregion. Let me set my destination in here. Alright, we're ready. We're finally ready to start speaking with some people.
Swilad Melon.
Greetings, Kippen, and welcome to Gwingris. As you can see, our outpost is running low on supplies. I'm afraid that the next shipment from Rivendell is long overdue, and without those supplies, we will have a difficult time holding out against the forces of the enemy. Prior deliveries have met with trouble in the valley to the east of here in the form of worms. If you could take the time to thin their numbers in the valley, our efforts to resupply will proceed much more smoothly in the future. Alright. So let me actually pull up my quests, because there's a couple of them here. Number one, there's going to be the book 14, chapter freaking 15. And then also the warden quest, there's one of them here to collect a Red Tusk's hide, and he's here in Eregion. So let me put that in the tracker. Let me go talk to some more people. Can't see the quest rings. There it is.
You may be of service to me.
Well met, friend. No doubt you have heard of the White Hand's many spies in this land. A favorite spy of Sauron are the Qurbine. Our scouts report a large number of the Qurbine along the northern edges of the valley far to the east of Gwingris. Find them and rid our valley of their menace before they discover something that should remain hidden. We go speak with this lady. She looks pretty important.
Mind my words, traveler.
Our scouts report that a group of half-orcs have been stealing worm eggs. This is troubling news, Kippen. I can only imagine their ultimate purpose with the worm eggs. For now, though, let us deal with the immediate threat. The very presence of half-orcs in the area speaks of these evil times. Journey to Pen Eregion in the southeast and hunt down the servants of the White Hand. These half-orc abominations must be put to an end. Let's see what else we have here. A couple more quest rings.
Will you hear my sorrows?
Greetings, Kippen. Have you of late seen the holly forest south of Gwingris? Huarns now walk about, attacking those who pass through the wood instead of remaining docile trees as they should. There is something amiss in the wood. Something has awakened the trees from their usual slumber and provokes them. The Huarns and the holly tenders are providing too great a threat so close to our waypost. Gather your friends, Kippen, and deal with this menace. Return to me when you are through, and perhaps we can learn what has stirred them. And I think there's one more quest ring here.
Will you lend me your ear?
Greetings, Kippen. I and my companions are recently come from Rivendell at the behest of Master Elrond. He fears that spies of the enemy may dog the footsteps of the company which left LOTRO some little while ago. The company which bears a heavy burden, and command us to follow in their wake, lest some sign of their passing be left behind. To this end, many of our companions have gone forth to scout the lands. It is clear that Aragorn, son of Arathorn, journeys with the company still, for there has been little note to see. They have lit few fires for the fear of the enemy, which is good. However, one of my scouts reports that he saw signs of an old campfire southeast of here. If you would, seek out that camp and learn if any other signs have been left behind which may reveal the composition of the company. The campsite lies far to the southeast, beyond Saud Reku, nestled at the base of some boulders. So we're kind of chasing the Fellowship, which is kind of cool. And let me see what my map is highlighting here. So let's go south. Let's start there. I've got to kill some Horns. I've got to kill Red Tusk. I've got to kill Half-Orcs. I've got to kill Crabine. I've got to kill Worms, I think. So lots of work to be done. I'm actually just going to head towards the quest rings. And then if I run beyond any enemies, I'll destroy them. Like this guy. Got to kill a few of these. So, Ring Lore of Eregion. So we have to find worn pages of the Ring Lore. And I haven't found any, I just kind of opened up the deed. So 8 of these shouldn't be too bad. Kind of weird that the music stays constant here and there's no combat music. Now I don't need to kill any of those warriors, so I'm gonna ignore him for now. Pretty nice red trees here. Here's the first horn. Let's go ahead and kill him. Alrighty. So 8 of those as well. Lots of work to do down here. Don't need to kill any fireflies, but they're around. They're around if you want to kill them. The Horns are a little bit rare. I've only seen one so far. I like this forest though. I like the red trees. It's kind of unique. I think there's a Holly right here. Let's go ahead and kill that one. Let me do an unerring strike. Spear of Virtue ought to finish the job there. I'm gonna keep making my way towards that quest ring, and I'll just kill whatever I cross paths with. Alright, those bleeds will definitely take care of that. So basically the gambit rotation that I've been using is to maximize my bleed efficiency. Probably not the best thing to do, I guess, when I'm over leveled like this. It will probably be more effective for when I'm doing stuff on level. But basically I try to throw down as many gambits as I can that put a bleed on the enemy. And then it basically is just passive damage. I just stand there and watch the enemies melt away. So I start with this Spear of Virtue, and then I do a Precise Strike, and then I go ahead and try to do a Surety of Death, and then I go with the Unerring Strike. And by then, they're usually dead. As you can see, he's just gonna bleed all that out. And he would have lost several thousand more HP if I just left him. But he didn't have enough HP to lose, man. When have you ever had that problem? Enemies dying too quick. I feel like the music here is a lot louder than some of the other maps. Or maybe it's just me. Alright, so that guy just spawned literally in front of me. Right, so that is 6 of them, and then I do have to kill a couple of these as well. Let me go ahead and smack this guy. I do a Maddening Strike. I don't use that combination too often. Alright, let me see if I see any signs of the Fellowship here. There's a Tater. That could be a sign of Sam. No, that's just a cooking node. So there's a new deed here as well called the Ring Goes South. And I think this is basically following in the footsteps of the Fellowship. And again, for those of you kind of new to the series, the very final episode of a season I go over all the deeds in Eregion and I kind of speak about the lore. So that's something to look forward to. So let's take a look at this pouch of pipeweed. I'd reckon it belongs to either Merry or Pippin, but we'll find out. So let me actually go east a little bit and see if I can kill some half-orcs and some of the other enemies that I'm looking for. I already killed all the ones. Never mind. That one just didn't count for some reason. I think I'm on the very edge of the area that it counts, which is alright. I do have to kill some of these though. Crabon Slayer. There's gonna be a deed for that. I like the music here. It makes it feel like the game is picking up pace almost. You know, the game's felt somewhat casual up to now, but this music feels like it's kind of really pushing it into another area. Which is true, this is kind of pushing me towards Moria. Lots of Crabine to kill. And they're kind of few and far between, unfortunately. Now for the Slayer deed, I believe there's an instance that has a ton of Crabine in it, so you could farm that instance, I guess. That would be a convenient way to do it. And I'm pretty sure I have to kill worms, but let me double check. I guess I can check by hovering over the enemy. If you can see, that says defeat worms, 1 out of 14. And I have a quest item here. This bundle is clearly part of a supply delivery. Amid the claw and bite marks the worm inflicted upon it, you see the trace of the elven name, Gwingris. Gwingris lies to the west. You should look for someone there to give the satchel to. There's a few half-orcs here, looks like. Let me go ahead and kill this fool. It's gonna be a Slayer deed for that as well. Lots of Slayer deeds here. Alright, so unfortunately some of these have crossbows, so I might have a hard time bunching them up, but let me see what I can do. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to bunch them up very well, unfortunately. And I screwed up my gambit. Oh my gosh. That was a good chunk of them, a good 5 already. Alright, so 4 more of those, and there's a couple around here. Probably take that worm too. Let me see if I can bunch all these dudes up. Then let's do a surety of death. Let's do a brink of victory. Let's throw down a war cry. Let me do a death strike on that guy. Alright, sweet. One more half orc, and then I gotta go find a ton of worms. Hopefully this guy counts. I don't see why he wouldn't. Alright, so that's that. Next up, there are some eggs here. Can't really interact with them. I'm sure there's going to be a quest at some point. There's a worm sire. I wonder if there's going to be a quest to kill him. He did not count as one of the worms that I needed for the Slayer quest. Kind of unfortunate. And I think Red Tusk, the enemy that I'm looking for as far as my Warden quest from like 3 years ago, should be around here somewhere too. Maybe that's him. No, that's just a regular Tusker. I believe Red Tusk is a boar. Looks like another exploration deed here. Get on my horse. Yeah, it looks like they're giving me a pretty wide area to search for a Red Tusk in. And I'm assuming he'll be around here since there's all these boars everywhere. Let's see what I can find. It's a ridiculous amount of boars, but just not the one that I need. Let me get back this way, see if I find him. There he is. There is Mr. Red Tusk. Actually gonna do a desolation on him, just because I can. And there we go. Finally gonna be ready to complete that quest. Ideally, you're supposed to do those when you're level 50 because the rewards actually help you out at that time. But I didn't want to come here to these areas that I hadn't visited before just for one quest. Doesn't make sense for this playthrough. Let's go ahead and kill some more worms. Alright, halfway there on that. I also have to kill some more of these guys. See if we can gather a few enemies up. Alright. Let me go that way. There might be a few more Krebine here on the hills. They tend to be more towards these hilly areas for some reason. Not specifically here in Eregion, but if you notice, anywhere there's a pretty good concentration of Krebine, it's usually around a hill or some sort of mountain. And I'm in completely the wrong location. I don't know how I ended up so far away from the highlighted quest area. But whatever, I think I'm back on track. I don't know, I'm not seeing any enemies. Oh my god, I went flying. That was ridiculous. That was crazy. My legs are gonna be broken forever. Yeah, 10 more seconds, not too bad. Let me wait till these are all bunched up, and then let me AoE them down as quick as I can. Let me start running towards that guy. Alright, I need one more worm, and then I'm gonna need a ton of Krebine. Alright, excellent. So Krebine are everywhere, looks like, but they're pretty sparse. You see, I still need to kill some more of the trees as well and all that good stuff, so gotta make sure not to forget that. Alright, halfway there with that. Let me try to head back into the woods here. Actually, I think that was more over here. Let me go that way. Should probably add this to my tracker. Get rid of this for now. Put that on there. I think I just ran by a Krebine. There he is. I was so distracted, wasn't paying attention. Too far away. I'm gonna follow the foothills here. I think I'll have more enemies this way. Can grab that dude. And you can see they're They do in fact like to be by the foothills. I wasn't making it up. Alright, so that's all of them. Let me head back into the redwood and kill some other enemies. More Huarns and some holly tenders. And then I think I'll be ready to turn in this huge chunk of quests. There are some Dunlendings all around. Pretty active in the area. Alright, so I can kill one of these. And that was all of them, and then I'm gonna need maybe 3 more of those. One final one ought to do the job. There's the victim. And I'm stuck in combat music. That's alright. Alright, done with that. Let's head back and turn in all these quests. And while I'm riding over there, let me see if I can reset the combat music. No, that's alright. That's alright. We'll deal with it for a couple minutes here. It's probably one of the more frustrating bugs of the Lord of the Rings Online, is getting stuck in the combat music loop. Not only because it gets a little bit repetitive, but also because you're missing out on the great soundtrack that the game has to offer. Already got a bunch of junk cluttering up my inventory. Gonna be trying to do some of the tasks as well, just for completion. But first things first, let's turn in these quests.
What can I do for you?
You say you found this pouch at the campsite. It contains some small portion of the halfling's pipeweed. It may be that one of the halflings or the dwarf dropped this. Such carelessness could be their undoing.
Will you lend me your ear?
Kippen, I fear that there is little time to lose. Go to Eregion, far to the south and east, and speak with Gogalon. Warn him that there may yet be signs of the company's passing in the wild. Alright, so we're done with that.
Graze the shadow upon my heart.
It pains me to put these creatures of the forest to the sword, but the power of the enemy has made it necessary. Against this corruption there is little defense. It seems that our immediate concerns have been dealt with. Let us hope that it stays that way. I fear there is more lurking beneath the surfaces, however.
Will you stay a moment and learn of my troubles?
While you were dealing with our immediate concern in Gladirag, our scouts learned that there is a large presence of witch trolls there as well. These creatures are bred by the Dark Lord and may well be the cause for corruption of the forest. From what the scouts say, the witch trolls dwell mainly in Sad Therag at the southern edge of Gladirag. Go there and see what you can learn of their presence there. Be wary, take an ally or two, for these monsters are terrible foes.
Mind my words, traveler.
I am afraid your efforts to the south will not be enough to repel the corruption of the enemy has brought to Glad Ereg. The evil has gone far too deep. In order to repair the damage that our enemies have brought about, we will need to replant the holly trees that have been devastated by the trolls and their foul ways. Journey south into the forest and find holly seeds from the bushes that grow beneath the trees there. Bring them to me, and we will find the opportunity to ensure the forest's prosperity. I think there's a few more to turn in here.
Greetings to you.
What do you bring me? It is as I feared. Our latest delivery from Rivendell fell prey to the worms of Eregion. We have long known of the worms, but until now they proved little more than a hindrance. Increased aggression from the worms spells grave news for our outpost.
Greetings, friend. Will you lend me your ear?
With one delivery lost and the worms on the rise, we have need of your help. It is unlikely that all of the delivery is completely lost. If you find any more goods from this delivery, please bring them back to me. I believe that you will find more of the supplies along the road from Rivendell well to the east.
Megovanen.
Well done, Kippen. I think that should thin their numbers enough for our supplies to make it through unharmed for the near future. There is still more, however, that can be done.
You may be of service to me.
I cannot thank you enough for dealing with the worms that threaten our supplies from Rivendell, but I should have another task for you that could prove to be a more decisive step in safeguarding our deliveries. To the south of Eregion, in the east, there is a small clump of large hills. On the north side of these hills are a series of dens the worms use to raise their young. It is here that you will find Brununk, Lord of the Worms of Eregion. I want you to draw him out by smashing any eggs you may find on the north side of these hills. Draw out Brununk and slay him, then return here to me. And finally, I think there's one more here. Actually, I see a couple more quest rings on the map.
Sweet-eyed Melon.
Well done, Kippen. That should limit the White Hand's ability to gather knowledge of our forces here, and other things that should remain hidden. With their numbers weakened by our efforts, we have an opportunity to strike a decisive blow against their tenuous foothold here in Eregion.
Sweet-eyed Melon.
You have thinned the number of the Cribine in the area, but unfortunately more will return to replace the ones you killed. In order to drive them out entirely, you will need to remove the means of rest and shelter. They undoubtedly found a large tree in which they roost. As much as I despise the thought, you will need to burn this tree down. Only then will the Cribine retreat from Eregion. Return to the valley in the east and look for the roosting tree. It will likely be found near a large number of Cribine. When you find it, burn it to the ground.
How can I be of service?
You have done well, Kippen. For now, the half-orcs have been thwarted. Rest for a while. You will need your strength again before long.
Might you spare a moment of your time?
You have dealt with the half-orc rabble here in northern Eregion, Kippen, but their true purpose is only beginning to become clear. Recently, our scouts have indicated that a half-orc with some skill in training the worms is attempting to bend the vile beast to his will. If he succeeds, he could build a terrible army in Eregion. Return to the east and look for a small range of mountains south to the road of Rivendell. Among them is Karkris. If you find Arsgott there, put an end to his vile ambitions. Alright, so that was a lot of quests here, starting out pretty strong, I think, in Eregion. But this is a good stopping point for this episode. Got all these deeds opened up, and following the fellowship, helping out the good people here. So be sure to join the fellowship by hitting the subscribe button, and leave a like on the video, it really helps out, and I'll see you next time.